Hey everybody, my name is Kevin Guthrie. I run a private therapy practice in the lovely market town of Newark. I wanted to start doing some vlogs on what therapy was, what it is, because there's a lot of misconceptions around with therapy. I think a lot of people get confused as to what it is, and a lot of people get quite frightened as to what it is. And because of what I do, I see a lot of people go through some incredible journeys, and I would like to see more people be able to go through those journeys. So, therapy, what is it? The particular type of therapy I'm going to talk about today is talk therapy. Talk therapy comes in many, many different models. The models that I practice are psychodynamic, CBT, and person-centered. You can read upon those. Just to give you a brief outline of those, person-centered is very gentle. It's very much led by the client. Psychodynamic is very Freudian. So with psychodynamic therapy, we're looking at the past. We're working with the unconscious. Our unconscious mind can affect what we do in day-to-day life. So in psychotherapy, we're constantly trying to find or see what the unconscious is saying. We do that through dreams, through things that we say. Quite often you might say something and go, "Why did I say that? What was that about?" Well, it comes from the unconscious, and if we can catch those and then be able to analyze them, it gives us a good idea of what's happening in the unconscious. Therefore, giving us a fuller picture of what's happening in our minds. CBT is a very practical therapy, so it stands for cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy is the model is we think, we feel, and then we behave. In our minds, we have what I call an inner dialogue, and it's almost constant. It's almost a constant inner dialogue. Sometimes we're not aware of it. Sometimes we don't know what the inner dialogue's saying. I quite often say to patients or clients, "What's your inner dialogue saying?" And they'll go, "Inner dialogue? What's that?" I'll go, "Well, the voices inside your head." Yes, we all get voices inside our head, and once we become aware of those voices, and once we're able to start listening to them, we can start listening to what they're actually saying, and whether sometimes I describe it as them being on a radio station. So, is the inner dialogue on a good radio station, or is it in a negative place? Once we recognise that it's in a negative place, then we can retune it. We can retune the channel. Okay, but we have to listen to it first, and we have to be aware of it. Sometimes when you get to the end of a day and you're feeling really bad, you're feeling a little bit rough, or you're feeling a little bit low and you're not quite sure why, that could be the inner dialogue that you're experiencing, but you're just not quite aware of it. So that's the type of model of therapy that I deliver. People get confused over who needs therapy. I have to say there are very few people that I've met in my life that wouldn't benefit from a little bit of therapy. I would say that because it's my job and because I earn money from it. But genuinely, hand on heart, everybody at some point would benefit from some therapy. People get frightened of therapy. I've worked with hundreds of clients. At the end of their therapy journey, I always say to them, "How was it? Was it what you expected?" And quite often they say, no, it wasn't at all. It was more relaxed, it was more informal, it was just more chilled than I thought it might have been. It can be a difficult road at times, but I use the analogy of rebuilding a house. If you've got a house that's rickety and needs some improvements, then you may need to knock down a few walls before you rebuild them, and that can be uncomfortable, okay? But the choice is you either live in the rickety house or you rebuild the walls. Do you know what I mean? For a lot of people, private therapy is too expensive, and I get that. I completely understand that. I think some people choose to put their money in other areas. For me, the way I see it is, it's an investment in your life. When I see somebody in their 20s or 30s or 40s and they're unhappy because of the way their minds are working, or because of the way they're thinking, or because of past experience that are still affecting them now, and then I say, okay, so we're going to invest £500 to £1,000 in your mind but that £500 to £1,000 is going to change the rest of your life, because that's what it's going to do. It's going to change the rest of your life. Seriously, it just is. It can be life changing. So that £500 or £1,000 can be a weekend away, or it can be a holiday. A weekend or away a holiday can make you feel great. We know that. I love a weekend away, I love a holiday, but they're short term. Going and spending money on clothes is short term. It's short term happiness. Therapy it gains long term results. Okay. So basically today I just wanted to give an insight into what therapy was from my perspective. What I'd like to do with some of these vlogs is answer some of your questions, because I know there's a lot of questions out there that are unanswered. I know there's a lot of fears against therapy, and I know there's still a lot of misunderstanding. So what I'd like to do at the below this video is write your questions, and in the coming weeks I will answer those questions. Okay, ask me anything you want, and I'll answer it. I just want to give a clear understanding of what therapy is. And I guess what I'd also like to do is share some of my experience of my journey so far in the therapy room, because it's fascinating. There's not a day goes by that I don't feel honoured by the job that I'm able to do. Okay, so thank you for watching this. If you liked the vlog, then post a comment underneath. If you've got a question, like I say, put the question underneath, and I shall speak to you all very soon. Take care and be happy.